it's still connected with fashion and style, and it's all interconnected.
Great.
I've had a very indirect career route to becoming a book designer in New York City. I originally had a degree in magazine journalism from the University of Florida, and I went into became a copy editor at a magazine, and I found that I really just didn't like being an editor, and I wasn't very good at it. And after bouncing around for a while after that, I had this job at Kinko's, of all places, and there are all these designers who would come in, and they were always printing out their freelance work, and I became interested in designing. Actually, I was writing at the time, just writing some of my own work, and I kind of wanted to be able to lay out my own book. So some of it, my first interest came through being sort of self-taught. I taught myself some of the software like Quark and Photoshop. But then I realized that I really needed some actual schooling. So then I went back to school, first to a technical college in Minnesota, and then to a school of advertising and design, also in Minneapolis, where I got much more of a real background. I sort of lucked into a job at a small boutique literary publisher in Minnesota, where I was pretty much the entire art department there, which was great because it gave me an opportunity to work in, to see all aspects really of publishing on sort of like a micro scale, and it allowed me to do all sorts of different design work. From there, I realized I really wanted to work in publishing on the in the big times, as they say. So I just up and moved to New York, and which I don't really recommend, but but it's turned out all right. And I worked at some small places here in town until I managed to find a job in Penguin Group, which is where I am now. Maybe not the ideal career path, but it seemed to have worked for me so far. So.